All hail the Clicks crew! Alright, guys, today we're going to take a look at the 5 Heroclix that I am going to be missing once they retire this year. These are like just my favorite ones. They aren't necessarily the most powerful ones, although now that I'm looking at it, a couple of them are meta. But these are just the ones I've had the most fun playing with and stuff like that. This could have easily been a 20-figure list. I've been really trying the last few years to play through my entire collection rather than just select figures. So these are the ones that even though I was trying to play through my whole collection, I just saw myself reaching for fun games, with the exception of, like I said, one or two. Since I'm not doing a top 10, I felt like I kind of had to include them. But anyway, yeah, so these are the 5 figures I've had the most fun with that are about to retire. Before we get into this, though, now's a good time to let you know that Mr. Clicksflix is sponsored by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama, home of the ROC. No matter if you're in the United States or around the world, Lucky Dice Cafe has the winning role for our game needs. You can visit them at luckydicecafé.com or on their Facebook page, found in the link in the description of this video. Mr. Clicksflix is also sponsored by trollandtoad.com, one of the largest online gaming retailers. Visit trollandtoad.com and use the promo code Mr. Clicksflix for 5% off your Heroclix order today. Alright, so these are in no particular order. These are just the ones that I have had the most fun with. So let's go ahead and get a look at them. So up first, we have Daredevil from the Earth X Heroclix set. This guy's been considered meta, although he's not the most oppressive figure in the world. He did make it on a lot of Don't Die teams, and I really like the sculpt. I was able to pull him, so I tend to like figures that I pulled better. But he's got a couple traits here. His first one is when placing characters during game setup, choose a starting line for Daredevil and give him 3 6 tokens. When Daredevil is attacked, after resolutions, remove a 6 token for each 6 in the attack roll. If Daredevil has 6 tokens, would be KO'd. Instead, choose a starting line different from the one you most recently chose and turn him to that click protected pulse wave. So basically, he doesn't die unless you remove all 3 of those 6 tokens. And this other trait, Daredevil can't be chosen for Mastermind. Attacks made by Daredevil or by characters targeting him can't be re-rolled if the attack roll contains a 6 protected pulse wave. So that's just a cool way to make it. They're just trying to make sure that you can't prob your way out of those 6 tokens. He's 60 points, and it looks like it's like, well, 2 clicks, but no, this guy just keeps going and going. So if you hit him and you KO him, then he comes back on a different click. You just choose which one. This guy was just a workhorse for a lot of people, including me. So definitely one of the figures that I'll miss most when they retire. As some of you know, I maintain the modern Heroclix in my collection. It just keeps the collection size down to a manageable size. I tend to hang on to 1 or 2 each rotation, but generally most of these guys hit the dusty trail. So if you see something here you like, make sure to check out one of the channel sponsors. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to hook you up. All right, next one is going to get a grow and a lot of eye rolls because it's 100% meta, and it is Vulture Prime. This is really the first time a easily accessible figure was meta. Like this guy's just easy to get. He was never expensive, even at the height of his abuse. So here we are with a Vulture. Not good keywords, but it never really seemed to matter for him. And his big thing was when Vulture KOs an opposing character after resolutions, he can use charge at no cost. So which you would do. He has this other thing too for sidestep, which was cool, but not too many people used it. It was mostly the charge. And what people would do is they'd pair him up with Doc Ock arms to give him flurry, and you could store the charges. So like, let's say you got him up to 6 attack, which is what you, or I'm sorry, 6 damage, which you'd always do. You'd get him across the board. He'd KO, I don't know, some Retaliator that didn't have Impervious. He'd KO the Retaliator, and then he'd have the second Flurry, and it would say, he'd have the second attack from the Flurry, but he'd also, so if he attacked and KO'd another character, then he'd actually have 2 charges saved up instead of just the one. So it got real ridiculous real fast for people. So I'm going to miss him a lot just because he was so inexpensive to get. It really made it so that a lot of players could play competitively on the cheap. Next one we're going to look at is one that I haven't used in a long time, and it's not his fault that the game mechanic was basically forced into retirement, but Sheriff Strange. I liked the sculpt at first when I saw it, and it was just cool. Doctor Strange is one of my favorite characters, so it was cool to get like a little 50-point version. And what was cool about him when he came out, well, first you had the Battle World trait. So you had the Perplex, and if they had the Battle World keyword that he shared, they got +2, and if it was different, they could do -2. And his cool thing was opposing characters must use double power action instead of power action to activate ID cards. This was devastating for a lot of teams at the time, and it was just really cool to have. He also had this thing, Penetrating Psychic Blast. When Doctor Strange uses after resolutions, hit characters can't use or become equipped by equipment until your next turn. Includes equipment characters. So that's really cool there. That's something you could still get some use out of him now for. That would be really cool. And then he's got this stop click if you paid 100 points for him to reposition your team. Just a really cool little niche guy. Almost everybody ran him at 50 points. I don't know too many people that ran him at 100. Typically, they'd run 2, I believe, is what they do. But yeah, if you were running ID cards and you saw this guy, you rolled your eyes. It made your life a little bit difficult, just because you had to time up your double power actions instead of a power action. This next one is on the list solely for the sculpt. This has been my favorite sculpt since it came out. I mean, I haven't seen another sculpt quite this good, and I don't know why I like this sculpt so much. This is probably the figure I'm going to hang on to post-rotation, but it's this Iron Man from 1872, where he's like steam-powered. Just look at how cool that looks with the steam coming out of the top and the little flamethrower. Like, I know it's kind of a basic paint app, but just the execution, and it looks like it's moving, and it's got translucent stuff in just the right places. This guy, he's not the best Iron Man. I'm going to be upfront about that, but I got this guy out so many times just because of how good I thought the sculpt looked. But he's got Battle World the Valley is his thing. He's got this showdown thing when Iron Man makes an attack and hits all targets after resolutions, roll a d6, 5 or 6, remove an action token from Iron Man. So that was kind of a neat little thing there. And then he's got this Quake when Iron Man uses it. After resolutions, if there are no opposing characters adjacent to him, he may make a ranged attack, but only to target a character he has not attacked this turn. That's pretty neat there. Other than that, he was just really a close combat guy that had like that neat little range trick. I just thought he was cool. Again, not the best Iron Man, but good grief was he my favorite sculpt. Last one, I'm sure some of you guys are like, where's the DC? Like I said, if this was a top 10 list, there'd probably be a lot more DC. But this one for sure had to be on here. And it is Zatanna from the Batman the Animated Series set. If you've seen probably in the last, well, since she came out, if you've seen a video that needed a support character and it was mostly DC, or even if it wasn't, it was like mystical or something like that, 100% I was reaching for this character. She only got improved with the new rules because her big drawback has always been that she didn't have Indom, but now that pushing's not a thing, she improved greatly in my eyes. And I used her. I got my money's worth out of this figure. So she's got good keywords across the board. She's got this Justice League Unlimited, so if she rolls a 6, can pull a token from a friendly character, Justice League keyword 100 points or less. She's got Penetrating Psychic Blast and TK, and she can make these Bat Bystanders that have enhancement, which are just phenomenal. And then she's got Perplex and Probability Control. So there's the Bats. They have enhancement and shape change. You don't really care about them outside of the enhancement, which is Just really nice that she can get herself +2 damage, especially now since Perplex can't go on damage. That makes them a little bit better. 75 points and 50 points. At 75 points, that's where you get the Psychic Blast and the Bat Bystander, so you had to run her there. But if you were just looking to use her for the Perplex and the Prob, you did have that 50-point line. I always ran her at 75 points, though. She warranted it. 75 points, she could get herself easily up to an 11 attack, 4 damage. Like, okay, come on. Plus, she had Prob. So I will miss her sorely once retirement happens. So you guys let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite Heroclix figure that is about to retire this year? Put that in the comments below. I always enjoy reading those, and it might give me somebody to look at before they hit the old dusty trail. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, give it a share. It really helps keep me motivated to make these videos, and it also lets YouTube know, hey, I enjoyed this video. Other people may as well. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. As always, please remember that zone critical miss, we don't have probability control.